Hey guys, today on Mindset Managed I wanted to talk to you about reality, getting a reality check, getting some perspective, because I think a lot of us in the world that we live in today don't know what is reality and what is not. We don't know what the wider perspective is of life and the world. It's because we're living most of our lives through screens, and that's not me saying anything against social media or anything against television and the media. It's just that it's true. Most of our life is lived through a screen. So whether that's a television and seeing the characters on a show, in a film, or a reality TV show, or even the news, which is skewed, they definitely lean towards whatever story they know is going to sell and get the most attention. So bear that in mind. Or if it's on our phones, we're looking at social media, like I say, or if we're on our laptops, right? We're always looking at screens. More often than not, we're looking at screens rather than looking at each other. But what you see on that screen isn't reality. It's a skewed version of reality. It's an other reality. The reason that this matters is because, firstly, it's not real. It's beautified. It's made to look aesthetically pleasing. So this means that every time that you look at a woman on TV, or a woman on your social media, or a man, obviously, or any other kind of gender, that they're not as beautiful as they may look. And even if they are the most beautiful person in the world, they're still somebody who gets sick. They're still somebody who has days where they wear hoodies and puts their pony up and, you know, no makeup on. They're still a person, a real person, which means that they're flawed, because we're all flawed. We all have the ability to look worse. We all have the ability to look ill, like I am today. We all have the ability to not look our best selves. But obviously on the TV or on social media, we only put our best foot forwards. We always try to look our best. The second reason that it matters is because we can get in the wrong mindset when we think that everything we see is real. So if you believe that anything that's said on the news is definitely right and true and real, then of course you would never leave your house, because you would think that everyone around you is out to kill you. If you believe that everything that you read on a blog post was real, then that means that a lot of us would probably live our lives very differently. We'd be very angry or upset, or we'd do things that just weren't logical to do, because some people just put out this content and don't even think about the consequences of saying the things that they say. And then it also means that if you are somebody who does just take everything that you see as true, then that means that everybody in the world is living a better life than you, right? It means that everybody's social media feed looks so perfect. That means their life is so perfect. That means that your life is so rubbish compared, right? But the thing is, they have really good cameras. They're really good at editing. These people have taken like 1,000 photos with a professional photographer in one day, and then they use those photos throughout the year. And that isn't them living their best life every day. Just because they're posting beautiful pictures in beautiful surroundings every day does not mean that they are there every day, right? Because like I say, these photos were taken in one day. They went around the city or whatever, took loads of pictures of different locations with different outfits, different hairstyles, and then they just upload them at different times of the year. It's a way to keep up your social media, because these people, it's their job, right? So they need to keep their social media fresh. They need to be able to look good all the time. So that is not real. It's just a highlight reel. I know for me that I've posted travel photos from last year, this year. So that means that it might look to some people like, oh, you're on holiday. Like if they don't know me personally and know that I went away last year, then they might think, oh, she's on holiday. But no, I'm not on holiday. Because you didn't read the caption, that means that you don't know what the photo is actually about, what I'm actually talking about. You just saw the photo and so you're like, oh, that's beautiful, she's on holiday. And no, I'm not on holiday. So you need to be careful with that. And the last reason that it matters so much is because of our own personal identity. If you are somebody who thinks that you need to be perfect all the time, if your social media needs to be perfect, if you're a content creator needs to be perfect, then you're going to start to think that you yourself have to be perfect, that you yourself is your content. But the thing is, you're not. I'm myself, I'm Charlotte Rose Crawford, I'm a whole other person aside from the YouTuber that you see, aside from the podcaster that you hear, aside from the writer that you read, right? I'm a different person to compare to that, a whole other complete person apart from that. And so are you. We are not our online personas, but we can get so tied up in it. And it's really dangerous to do that, because if you believe that you are your online presence, then that means that you are going to believe that you are a number of likes, you are a number of comments. And so if you put up a photo or a video or a blog post that doesn't get a lot of likes, that doesn't get a lot of engagement, then you're suddenly going to think that you yourself is not worthy, that you yourself is not valued. And that's very, very dangerous, because it's not true. It just means that the algorithm wasn't benefiting you that day. It means that you just posted at the wrong time of the day. It just means that people weren't bothered that day. They had something more important that they wanted to look at. They had Love Island to watch, right? It's not about you. But so often we do think it's about us, and we think that I'm so awful, nobody likes my pictures, I'm so ugly, I've got rubbish content, nobody wants to read my writing, nobody wants to watch my videos, I'm awful. You are not awful. Your content might need some work, but that doesn't mean that you yourself are awful. It doesn't even mean that your content is awful. It just means that you either need to work on it, doing it at a different time of day, think about the analytics, or yes, make some tweaks to the content. But it doesn't mean that it's awful, and it definitely doesn't mean that you are awful. So to wrap up, I just want you to know that you need to be really careful with what you consume and what you put out. You need to be careful in what you believe about what you consume and what you put out. Are you tying your own personal identity, your own self-worth to your content, to your online presence? If you are towing a very, very dangerous line, and you need to be careful, because that is not you. You need to be a whole separate person aside from that. You need to be okay with not having a lot of likes or followers or comments or whatever. You need to be a different person than your online persona. And you also need to be somebody who knows that what you see on a screen isn't real. It isn't fully real. It's not the whole truth and nothing but the truth, right? It's not the accurate perception of reality. Instead, get some perspective and realise that there's a whole world out there that is different to what you see on the screen, that is yours, and it's real, and it's true, and it's beautiful, and it can be lived face to face. It can be lived and felt for real, without a camera being there, without a phone being there, without any kind of need to capture it and put it online, without any kind of need to be out of the moment. Instead, step into the moment, be in reality, be mindful, be perceptive of the truth of this world and of yourself. And the only way you can do that is to get quiet, to get mindful, like I said, and to get intentional with what you're doing. Instead of getting wrapped up in the rat race of what you should be doing, of what your online should look like, of who you should be online. That's not real. This is real. Consider that mindset managed. Take care, guys.